Though actually the discovery of nucleus was done by Rutherford. So the charge on the nucleus of an atom is Ze. What does that mean? Z means number of proton and E is the charge. So we know that now, like he was not known about that in nucleus the neutron also reside in it, but we know that in nucleus there is proton and neutron. So neutron is obviously it is there's no charge, but proton has charge which is positive. So that's why in the whole nucleus the charge is Ze. Z means number of proton, E is the charge of number of proton. Okay. More, the mass of an atom is concentrated in the nucleus of an atom. Like we know that how we calculate the mass of an atom, V plus neutron plus proton. So where they are located inside the nucleus. So obviously the mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus of an atom. And the volume of the nucleus is very much lighter than the volume of the atom. Like the size of nucleus is less than, I'm talking about size, not mass, it's less than the whole atom. And in atom the centripetal force is equal to electrostatic force. Like how now this is happening? Okay, we know. And one more thing, Rutherford also said that this is our nucleus which is positive charge and electron is revolving here, right? So he said that electron revolves around a fixed circular path which he called orbit, which he actually called orbit. Okay, so how the centripetal force is equal to the electrostatic force? Okay, now here you can see the centripetal force acts where? Obviously it acts in the center. So obviously the centripetal force is acting in the center, and where the electrostatic force attracts it between positive and negative charges. So obviously this is a negative charge, this is a positive charge, so obviously there will be attraction between them, and electron is revolving around it, so obviously there will be attraction towards the center, that will be known as centripetal force. So over here centripetal force is equal to the electrostatic force. So now we will talk about the defects of the Rutherford. Okay, so when the Rutherford gave this theory, there was another famous theory which was known as electromagnetic theory, which was given by Maxwell. And according to this, whenever a charged particle is there and another charged particle is revolving around it, so it will, like when it will be moving, it will ultimately fall in the nucleus of a like it will fall into the another charge like this. That whenever there are two charged bodies and one charged body is revolving around another charged body, so it will form a spiral motion and it will be ultimately collapse in another charge. So this was the electromagnetic theory and it was experimentally proved too. But as the Rutherford's theory was also there, so many people asked him, like the proton is having charge, like the nucleus having charge which is positive, the electron is having charge which is negative, so how? So the electron must do spiral motion and must fall in the nucleus of an atom, as the electron is revolving around the nucleus, so it must emits its energy. And yeah, Excel also said that it will continuously emit its energy and it will ultimately fall in the center. So many people asked objective Rutherford that the same will be happening here too. Like electron is negative and nucleus is positive, so electron, the charge is revolving around the nucleus, so obviously it will emit energy and will ultimately fall in the nucleus of an atom. But the Rutherford was unable to explain this. Why? Because he forget that the atom is neutral, that number of proton is equal to number of electron, and neutron has no charge. It was not discovered that time, but still the proton is equal to electron, so obviously it is neutral. So Rutherford forget that thing, that the like the atom is neutral, so he couldn't explain in the question of the many people. Now our second is many people asked him that where does the electron reside. There are a lot of atoms, there are a lot of elements, so do like all elements have same shell, and they are revolving around the same orbit, or and they have same energy. As there was a defect of J. Thomson, that it doesn't explain the stability and energy. So he also didn't explain stability. Okay, he said that this is proton, this is obviously nucleus, all the electron will reside in the same shell. Okay, and they will have the same energy, which is wrong. Like we have energy levels, we have shell, we have orbits, so it means they have different energy levels, and all electrons doesn't reside in one shell, we have different. So this was the wrong idea, or this was a defect of the Rutherford. And other thing, that he didn't explain line spectra. When the electron emits energy, he thought that it will form a continuous spectrum, but not it forms a line spectrum like a rainbow. But first of all, the thing that the electron will emit energy and will fall into ultimately the nucleus of an atom was not given by Rutherford. Many people asked him that, oh, there is a theory of Maxwell and it is experimentally proved. Like, now tell us that is the atom behaves like the same? But Rutherford said, I don't, like, he was not having the proper explanation, because he forget that the atom is neutral. The number of proton is equal to number of electron.